So next up, we have something special. Instead of just one talk, we're going to have a series of lightning talks on this year's Scala Summer of Code. So I'm going to hand it over to Arman to.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to invite Hieu up right away. Hieu, if you can raise your hand. Hieu has kindly stayed up till 11 p.m. Hieu, is that you raising your hand? There's the emoji reaction, and then there's also a...
Yes, folks from Scala Summer of Code should raise your hands, and we can invite you up onto the stage.
Sam says there's an outline of a hand. That's the one you're looking for. Let's see, can we send a screenshot? Is it possible to invite people without raising their hand?
I believe so. If you take a look at the room view, go into auditorium and list the people. What's the name of the person we're trying to invite up?
Hieu. It would be spelled H-I-E-U.
H-I-E-U. I'm not sure I see Hieu here.
I see, at least in the direct chat. Let me look at the room listing. Yes. Hieu's even DMing me.
Hieu?
Yes.
Hang on, let me see if I can do this.
All right, welcome.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Arm.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, it's 11 p.m. in my place, but it's still fine.
Thank you.
Yes.
So Hieu was working on a HTTP4S Ember WebSocket project with us, and he did really, really great work over the course of this summer. So yeah, I'm going to let you go ahead and do your presentation.
Sure. So share screen real quick. Hopefully you can all see my screen. So hello everyone. My name is Hieu, and I'm currently a second-year student in university, and very excited to be here and talk about my Google Summer of Code project. And in the summer, I was working on a project to implement an Ember WebSocket client. And I would like to say thank you to my three mentors, Arman, Chris, and Diego, who were constantly helping me on every step of the project. And also would like to thank everyone out there in the community who took a bit of their time to look at my PR and gave me code review and feedback. So appreciate all the help. So let's get started. So what is HTTP4S Ember WebSocket client? And I would like to break this down into two smaller parts. The first part is what is HTTP4S Ember? So Ember is just simply a server and client backend. But why is this backend different from other backend like Netty or JDK? So you can see on the slide here, Ember can cross-compile and run on JVM Node.js and native. So what this means is that you can run the code on multiple platforms without making any changes to the code at all, and it will be very convenient and save you a lot of time. So that is a very useful benefit of using Ember. And the second point I want to make about Ember is it is pure functional, and it allows us to use fundamental libraries like CastEffect or FS2, which will also help writing code a lot more easier. And the second part is what is WebSocket? Or rather, what is this protocol different from other common protocols like HTTP? So in this slide here, I have two graphs which show you the basic difference between WebSocket and HTTP. So HTTP works very simple. The client sends a request to a server, and the server will respond, and at this point, the connection is terminated. But in WebSocket connection, the connection is actually sustained. And I have another graph here, which was sent to me by Arman, which should give you a better understanding of how WebSocket works. And initially, the client will send an upgrade request to a server, and if the server is happy, it will respond with a 101 status code. And at this point, the WebSocket connection is established, the handshake is approved, and both sides can send data frames to each other. And this is the biggest difference from HTTP protocol, because the first point is the connection is sustained, and the second point is that both sides can send data to each other. The client can send data to the server, and the server can also send frames to the client. And then fast forward, when one side want to close the connection, then it will send a closed frame to the other side, and the other side should also respond with a closed frame. And the WebSocket connection will be terminated. So that is basically my explanation of how the WebSocket protocol works. And I want to give a bit insight about the implementation detail of my project. So the very first step is to let the client send an upgrade request to a server to establish the handshake. And then after that, we need to extract the connection by retrieving the socket in the initial HTTP request. So what this means is that we need to reuse the same socket that we used in the HTTP request, so we can send frames and data to that socket. And this is actually the trickiest part of the whole project. And we managed to solve this by attaching the socket to the response, so we can retrieve it later and get hold of the connection. So once we have the connection, then the final part is to implement the connection interface, which allows us to have send, receive, and other methods as well. And finally, I will give you a short demo of how to actually use the Ember WebSocket client. So import all the required library, and then the first step is you need to call the build WebSocket function, which should give us a tuple of a client and a WS client. And in this case, we are only interested in the WS client. And then we use the connect high level method, which basically to let the client send a WS request to the server. In this example, I'm using the Postman eco server. And if the Postman eco server is happy, then we'll have a connection and we can start sending frame to the server. And in this case, I send a text frame, and if nothing goes wrong, then I should receive the same text frame that I sent to the server. So this is the end of my short presentation. Thank you very much. And if you have any question, then feel free to ask in the Discord channel. And I'm also looking for an internship. So if you know any company is hiring, then feel free to reach out to me on Discord. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I just want to thank you for really anyone that HTTP interface is very big and complex. Ember is definitely one of the more complex.
Yes.
You jumped in and worked at the final, and all these functional programming networking concepts, and shipped working WebSocket clients that runs on all platforms. That's huge.
Yes. Yes.
If you have opportunities for you, please, yeah, find them. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes. Ember is probably one of the most convenient backend. So to have a WebSocket client for Ember, it is huge.
Thank you. Any questions before we have like a minute or two? Anything on the Discord? Okay. Maybe we'll keep going then. Thank you. Thank you for joining us here.
If anyone has any question, then please reach out on the Discord channel.
Okay, next up, I think will be Antonio. So if Antonio, you could raise your hand.